Dámy a pánové, já vás vítám u videa z herní série Path of Exile. Naše cesta do vyhnanství právě začíná. Enjoy! Zpátky tam, kde to začalo.
We're safe for the time being. Now let me introduce myself properly. Lily Roth. Yep, I'm one of those Roths. Some call me smuggler, others pirate. Yeah, I prefer the sound of nautical entrepreneur. Came up with that one myself. So you come see Lily if you need something, or even if you just fancy a good chat with a lovely lady. Don't think I'd be forgetting that favor you owes me. In fact, now I think of it, there's certainly a way you can be repaying this most considerable debt. You see, those blasted cultists have been plundering the refugee ships trying to escape Oriath. And if not for my incomparable skill as a sea captain, we'd have met the same fate. But now the drowned dead are washing ashore, and they ain't staying dead. There's been a whole lot of blood, sweat and tears getting these few lucky survivors here in one piece. What sort of captain would I be if I let them get ripped apart by walking corpses? Wipe the Twilight Strand clean of those filthy undead bastards and I'll call us even. Might even throw in a little something extra if you can pull it off. Wayland Roth. Here, let me share something I remember from my granddaddy's stories. No sooner had the others turned in fear from the great white Leviathan did Wayland load the ballista with his final harpoon. And right then he vowed to sea and sky that he and he alone would be the one to finally kill this bastard son of the Brine King. The ballista fired and the harpoon smote that creature right between the ribs as it made to dive back under the angry sea. Thick clouds of blood bloomed beneath the waves, roses flowering in the black water, and impossible though it seemed, the already shadowed ocean grew darker still. He used the bones of the great beast to reinforce the hull of his ship, Black Crest. Old Rottooth, he's a true legend, a real pirate hero. I can only hope one day my own stories will reach his ears and make him proud of the granddaughter he had to leave behind. Yeah, I knew Tarkley, if you catch me drift. He's got no time for his old bunkmate these days, though. Too gaga-eyed over his lost cause of a fishwife Nessa. Time was, Tarkley and I would smuggle all about the coast of Oriath. Oh, good days they was. Sweet with rum, nothing but the wind and salt in our faces, freedom in our hearts, and the law on our tails. But I could tell he were getting ready to make feet for children's stockings with me, so I cut him loose. Not a spark's chance under the ocean the dreaded Lily Roth's gonna wind up swelling like some drowned carcass. Still, nice to work with that bugger one more time, just for old time's sake, you know?
No jo, rum. Ten je vždycky fajn. Určitě si ten, co má pěkného. Konci ty bílé, no. Detonate mine.
That scallywag. I reckon Bestel thinks I'd be the kind of lass who'll bed down with any sort of rascal. Not too far off, I guess. He is rather sweet, but not the most comely of figures. Actually, he kind of reminds me of my grandfather, Wayland Roth. Poet and scoundrel extraordinaire he be. Bestel's but spittle from the mouth of old Rottooth Roth. Ahem. Bust my blind cheek, said the sailor to the doxy. She sports her dairy treats afar and relishes her moxie. But a fire ship will sink the broken neath the ocean waves. Tip nutmegs a deadly token sends captains to their graves.
Ale jo, smuggler s rumem je fajn. Už tady máme vedlejšáček. Twilight Strand Undead. A tady je.
Despite your best efforts, Beast Slayer, a splinter of hope remains. The very seed that brought my beast into existence. The dark ember. Never again shall it birth a life so magnificent as the beast. Yet a residue of that power still lingers. Enough to give us a fighting chance against the ravenous Kitava. How do we obtain this dark ember? 3 hearts were silenced. 3 hearts must sing again, one last time. In that final flickering of life, our Saviour's seed shall be born. All I need are 3 fine souls with which to stoke the flames. Chevron of Umbra, Inquisitor Maligaro, Dodri the Dark Tongue. 3 spirits of near unfathomable resilience and vigor, freed with the beast's final exhalation. So let us begin the harvest. Chevron has come home to Axiom. We shall give her the warm welcome she sincerely deserves.
No to si píš, že jí dáme, co si zaslouží.
If she is to be of any use to us, the Umbra's spirit must be wrenched from her mortal manifestation and lashed to our greater cause. That is your task. For my part, I shall negotiate the terms of her cooperation. With a tragic kiss and lasting embrace, her essence shall pass into me as if she were a sweet breath from the mouth of my lover. It is a sacrosanct sacrifice for all involved. Thankfully for you, all I ask is that you do what you clearly do best. Kill. Ambition is the bane of mortality. It was through ambition that we gods transcended the thick mud and thin blood of our mundane birthrights. Ambition that drove us to sustain our divine selves through the subjugation of others. Chevron's soul is made up of 1 part ambition and 2 parts raw, unbounded passion. Such a volatile spark shall burn briefly and brightly, and even the most deadened of hearts. I shall put this simply, for in truth, everything comes down to the simple act of planting a seed in the ground. The gods are rising because you slew the one creature that prevented them from doing so. Your name for it is the Beast. It was I who planted the seed in the rich soil beneath Highgate, who nurtured it, who watched it bloom into maturity, even as I succumbed to its mollifying powers. We gods, we were driven into slumbering darkness, to dream away eternity whilst the gentle beast watched over us. I would desire that we return to that blissful state, but my brothers and sisters of deism shall never submit to banishment. They have tasted freedom once more, and they shall not let go of this world until it is pried from their cold, dead hands. The beast was never a cruel master. It didn't want to destroy, to corrupt, to terrorize. It simply existed to exist. I made it that way. Unfortunately, in neglecting to provide it with ambition, I made it vulnerable to the ambitions of others. Queen Adziri and Doriani, Emperor Chittus and Malachi. Others even before them. I created a beast that would free humanity from the tyranny of the gods. Yet all I really did was provide the perfect tool with which humanity could tyrannize itself. Goodbye.
Okay.
There is so much more to this world than what I was taught in the academy.
V tom městě je toho povíc. Expedition Locker, 4 questy. Další 3. No. Tak, náš oblíbený Bestel.
Now there's a pair of eyes I could never forget. If the tales are true, those peepers of yours have seen all the wonders of Wraeclast by now. And a few things they likely wish they hadn't. Oh, and no need for us to speak of Orioth. My ears are brimful with the sorrows these wretched companions of yours have been spilling. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that Lion Ice Watch has seen better days. Our once bubbling township has, alas, become a brooding quagmire of gloom and despair. I blame the unrelenting weather. As you know, I am both a humanitarian and a strong believer in the soul-sustaining power of story. Back when I was still captain of the Merry Gull, many days at sea afforded me time to work on my thespian aspirations. I I wrote a theatrical epic, a one-man show entitled Cedric and the Buxom Stranger. I sealed the manuscript inside a roll of oiled leather and stashed it in the hold for safekeeping. Perhaps you could salvage it for me from that tidal island upon which my poor ship came to rest. Who knows? Maybe we can bring some joy back to Lion Eyes Watch with a bit of live entertainment.
No.
First we hear that Oriath has lost its bloody mind, and then you turn up. Doesn't take a scholar to work out how these two events might be connected. I don't know what's going on out there, and I probably wouldn't understand it if I saw it with my own two eyes. What I do know is this. The world we knew, it's gone. Now we have to do our damnedest to make sure we don't go with it. Nessa. I saw her one night, running out across the coast, headed in the direction of the mudflats. Called out to her, but she didn't even turn her head. Maybe she couldn't hear me. Maybe she didn't want to. I don't bloody know. I tried to run after her, but she'd vanished into the darkness before my feet had barely touched the sand. So I tracked her, all the way to the mudflats, and that's when her tracks, they just stopped. No sign of meeting someone or something. No sign of a struggle. It's like one moment she was running and the next, gone. Look, I've heard some things about what you've done. Things that beg a belief. Now you can do this. Please. Find Nessa. Bring her back to us. I wonder how much Lily squeezed out of those refugees from Oriath. Yes, she did risk her life and ship to save them. But I knew the Lily of old, a damn fine smuggler. And that Lily never did a good deed that didn't also turn a profit. I had a life before Lion Eyes Watch. Not much of one by some people's standards, but it was good enough for me. Lily and I, we'd smuggle a bit of booze to keep our purses full. We were good at it, too. Made us a fine partnership, her quick mind and my steady nerves, right up until the day she left me drunk and trussed on Penance Quay. By the time the blackguards unwrapped their present, she was halfway to Trathus. That's how I ended up here. Yes, it smarts a bit to look at her, but what right have I to say where the flotsam finally washes up? Farewell.
Why, hello, stranger. I am Faustus, the captain of the fair Maryline. Consider me your access to the wealth of Wraeclast. There's not a single market I
Tenhle tu
can't
předtím
reach.
nebyl.
You've got currency, they've got currency, and thus I shall be your most esteemed facilitator for a small fee, of course. It's awful business what happened to Oriath. Terrible, just terrible. I was lucky, safely out at sea with my crew. I hope those responsible are held accountable, barring those with whom I have ongoing business, of course. I suspect they were merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. Can't blame someone for having rotten luck.
Okay. Change.
Ahoy there.
No, nová postava každopádně.
The name's Tujin. You're to do the dirty work while we do the digging. It's as good an alliance as any. Well, it's up to you. We're a proud people, but aren't they? Difference is, we labour against the grim realities of life through the judicious application of bravery and courage. One's lineage carries an ongoing tally of renown and accomplishment. We do this not for ourselves, but for our children, should we one day have him. He's open.
Okay. Jo, to se nějakým stylem přenáší. Gambler, dealer, scout.
You're naught but skin and bones, Exile. But you've made it this far. Clearly you must have some talent. Care to lend your skills to a matter of honor? The most powerful artifact in our known tales was brought to this continent by the first expedition thousands of years ago. The songs tell of it incinerating evil, purifying tainted fields, and warding off those of ill intent. We could certainly use a relic like that now, in these troubled times. But to find it, we'll have to retrace the steps of those long-ago souls. Only they can tell us the Triskelion Flame's unknown fate. We are of the Kelgur. Ours is an existence spent scrabbling in the muck and mire of mortal life in search of scraps of renown. Some find it on the battlefield. Some find it in service. Others volunteer to sail to the edge of the known world on an impossible quest. The choices we make determine what we are, and what we become echoes into legend. Farewell.
Dobře, zatím stačí.
Kafar of Beecham, you have transgressed against your god and your fellow man. You have been a willing vessel for the following sins. Unlawful avarice, 1 count of possessing stolen goods. Civil envy, 1 count of resisting Templar authority. God has charged me with your redemption. You are hereby exiled to Wraeclast, where it is hoped you shall come to repent your sins and make your peace with your beloved father.
Lost Expedition. Nejdi. Jasný. Tak se nepodívat tady. Tam, kde to všechno předtím začalo. Jaký to má mít vůbec levely? 45. Máme tu něco pěkného. Knížka. Vzkaz z láhvy. Hodně dlouhý vzkaz. Tak jo. Jo, to vlastně byla ta kniha. Jauajc. A to je vše. Hotovo. Vyčištěno. Good. Jo, to seš ty.
My quest is to investigate the Knights of the Sun and acquire their relics. I'm willing to trade other less important relics for theirs. The runes on our armor essentially capture and shape starlight. Sounds poetic, but don't be fooled. The smiths of the Kalgur turned these runes towards killing work long ago, as soon as they discovered they could compel arrows to find their mark, and blades to bite deeper. The greatest smiths became known as artificers, and produced work of singular genius. There weren't many such relics, but there didn't need to be. I've never heard of this gods thing before setting foot here. But I know of at least one man who would fancy himself a god. Best we not mention divinity to those back home. I believe that you believe that these colored gems give you power, Exile. I've handled one of them, even tried to activate it the way that local Tarkley described, but didn't do a damn thing. Call me a skeptic, but to me, it seems like the power was inside you all along. Survive.
Dobrý, takže kam to položím? Dobře. Ona se to natahuje odsud. By byla jedna.
Taking on some serious danger, I see. Taking on some serious danger, I see.
To je blbý. Nedošáhne.
No nic, no. Ale bohužel, no. Imbrex nechci. No.
Far too much baggage.
No. Tak, gotovka. Ještě tu tohle.
Far too much baggage.
Давай.
Not right now.
Tak, stel.
Made any pro.
Tak, identifikačka. Vendor inventory. Okay. Dual strike.
No, I was never there.
Neither the time nor the place.
Tak, Lily. Odevzdáme questík.
A wretched sight. So many drowned Oriathans cast into undeath. You freed them from their torment, and I'm sure they'd be grateful. Here, that little something extra I were talking about. Those he takes away, he gives back in greater measure.
Oh, давай.
While you be skulking about, I've managed to do a bit of hunting on my own. Got a hole full of baubles and trinkets here, which I managed to, procure. Take a look. You might find something particularly naughty to help you on your life's voyage. You have the look of a wayfarer about you. I've a few bits and bobs in the hold that I managed to salvage from Oriath. Might be you're in the market for a little insurance for the road. The sort of nautical charm or a quaff of tonic be providing. Go on, have a look-see. And if you're thinking to trade, I reckon we can come to a fair arrangement. Time and tide wait for no man.
Regret. Respect point. To zrovna potřeba není, ale tak budíš. Archivist quest complete. Už se toho splnilo povíc. Expedition map.
Are a private matter of honor. Let's discuss this in your hideout instead. I'll sing of you.
Expedition map.
He's a good man. A man of two worlds. Part aspire and dreamer, part cynical realist. I'll follow him to the ends of the world, which you know, because I already have. And here we are. I'm of a particular purpose, see? I'm scratching up the ground in search of an ancient rowdy band. They were called the Black Scythe Mercenaries. Their founder, a particularly heroic warrior by the name of Vytvořena, shares ties to my bloodline. Before I can go home, I need to find out what happened to her.
Heglitem.
Don't give up. What do you
Počkej,
need?
Verona.
She was a fearsome and irrepressible warrior. King Cadogan III tried to mandate her service to the crown, but she laid flat every man sent to bring her in. Eventually, he realized that she couldn't be controlled, and he gave her a mercenary charter instead, given the freedom to operate the way she wanted. She won many great victories for the Kalgur. I respect those who make their own way. Her fate here on Wraeclast was unknown, but I have a feeling she's still kicking about. A burning spirit like that never goes down without a legendary fight. Don't give up.
Now that we've a chance to talk without explosives and monsters around us, I'm Gwennon. Luck is my game, but it's no game. It's deadly serious. You have to believe you're going to win, or you won't. That's the nature of this life, understand? It is what you make of it. So when you gamble with me, know that it's your fault if you lose. You just didn't believe hard enough. We've campaigned together for many years. It's taken a great toll on him, but he soldiers on. I don't know how he remains so cheery, honestly. If he loses another limb, he'll be more metal than man. Our intrepid leader believes in a world better than the one that truly is. He doesn't see you and me, Exile. He sees heroes. He sees grandiose myths and world-changing bravery. Don't dispel those notions. I want to live in the world he sees, even if I know it isn't real. During the failed rebellion, I once called out with all my heart. An arrow was arcing through the air. My arm was pinned, and I knew I couldn't get out of the way in time. I was a dead woman. But luck answered my earnest request. Another arrow, also on a murderous path, hit the first in mid-air, and both were diverted, landing on either side of me instead. That was the first time I knew that chance itself was a real force in this world. I didn't say that. You must have misheard. Never heard of gods, but I know I wouldn't put my faith in them, even if they came to my doorstep with an army. I've already solidified my beliefs where they belong. I'm all for the idea of King's March. I just don't like the name. For now, I'll support it from afar. I am honor-bound to discover the fate of Medvid and the Druids of the Broken Circle. They believed they could see into the future by peering into the past. Hypothetically, that's a power I'd very much like to have for reasons of chance and profit. But I'm not sure I want it to be true. If Medvid and his nature mystics were right, and time truly is a circle, aren't we all doomed to repeat our lives over and over for eternity? If that is the truth, then there is no luck. No chance, no human will. All life is just a stage play repeating over and over. I don't think I like that notion. Go well. In a gambling mood. His final fate was unknown, but I do know he cast off his peaceful ways and trained with 2 powerful axes after he arrived here. We're not fools. We see that the dead rise here on Wraeclast. If Medford is still out there, he'll be extremely dangerous. Conserve your luck and use it against him if you find him. Good luck!
I'm here. She's a distant cousin of mine, so I do what I can to protect her. Got some weird ideas about the world, though. Thinks belief can shape events. If it could, we wouldn't have been defeated during...
Dámy a pánové, tady vidíko aktuálně zapíchnu, doufám, že jste si ho užili, počilovali a na viděnou u dalšího videa.